The sun was shining brightly over New York City. People were walking, laughing, buying coffee, and checking their phones like it was just another normal day. Then, without warning, the sky turned dark. At first, people thought it was an eclipse. The sun disappeared behind massive black shapes in the sky. But these were not clouds, they were ships. Alien ships. One by one, the massive ships spread across the sky. There were 6 of them, each one bigger than a football stadium. The people on the streets stared up in silence, confused and afraid. Some took pictures, others ran. Then came the sound. A loud, deep hum shook the buildings. Windows shattered. Car alarms screamed. Dogs barked in fear. People started screaming, running in every direction. Above them, the alien ships opened their metal jaws and fire fell from the sky. "Get inside, now!" shouted a police officer as explosions rocked the city. In just 2 minutes, chaos spread across the world. Paris, Beijing, Tokyo, New York, Johannesburg, and Rio de Janeiro all under attack. The aliens didn't send a message. They didn't demand surrender. They just attacked. Inside a hidden military base in Colorado, General Reed stood in front of a large screen. His face was pale, his hands steady. "They're hitting the command cities first," he said. "No warning. Total destruction." Beside him, Commander Patel studied the enemy ships. "These aren't scouts," she said. "This is a full invasion," Reed nodded. "Then we activate it. Protocol Iron Shield, now." Within seconds, alarms blared through the mountain base. Soldiers jumped into action. Secret systems, built in silence over decades, came alive. Satellites turned toward Earth. Hidden missile silos opened. Drones the size of insects launched into the air. General Reed stepped to the center of the room and pressed a button. "All command centers, this is General Reed. Earth is under attack. Iron Shield is now active. Defend at all costs." In New York, 14-year-old Maya was trapped under a fallen traffic light. Smoke filled the air. Fires burned on every street corner. Her mother was unconscious beside her, bleeding from a head wound. "Mom," she whispered. "Please wake up." She heard a low buzzing sound, then saw a strange shadow moving toward her. A machine with 3 legs, blinking red eyes, and sharp metal arms. The alien drone scanned the wreckage. Maya froze. Her heart pounded. She held her breath, then bang! A sharp shot rang out. The drone exploded in a burst of sparks and smoke. "Clear!" yelled a soldier, rushing forward. 2 humans in black armor pulled Maya and her mother from the wreckage. One of them spoke into a small radio. "Civilian recovered, north side of Times Square. We need medevac." In space, Earth's defense satellites came online. One of them, codenamed Hawken 9, locked onto an alien ship and fired a beam of blue light. The beam cut through the alien hull, slicing deep into the ship's side. Inside the alien ship, the Zarnak captain hissed in surprise. His 4 red eyes blinked in confusion. "Primitive planet." "Impossible," he growled in his language. But it wasn't impossible. The humans were fighting back. In Tokyo, an entire block of buildings collapsed after an alien pulse weapon fired. But just minutes later, human drones swarmed the skies. They weren't as big or as advanced, but they were fast and smart. On the streets, special forces in exosuits pushed forward. Their suits glowed with electric blue lights and gave them extra strength. One soldier, known as Ghost, leaped onto the back of a small alien walker and placed a magnetic bomb on its core. "Boom!" he whispered, jumping away just in time. The explosion lit up the street. In the control room of the Colorado base, the world leaders were watching the feeds. 20 minutes, Commander Patel said. "It's only been 20 minutes since the first attack." "And we're already hitting them back," said General Reed. The screen showed one alien ship starting to tilt. Flames burst from its side. The humans had scored their first real hit. They thought we were weak, Reed said. They thought wrong. Back on the alien ship, the Zarnak captain stared at the damage reports. Human resistance was higher than expected. Earth's tech wasn't as backward as they believed. Begin orbital recalibration, the captain ordered. Prepare to fire the cleansing beam. But before they could, something strange happened. All across the Earth, the human system suddenly shifted. It was as if they were speaking to each other. Satellites, submarines, and airships were moving in perfect sync. A global AI system had awakened. Meanwhile, Maya sat in a medical van holding her mother's hand. She looked up at the dark sky and saw fire falling not from aliens this time, but from human weapons. Are we going to be okay? She asked the medic. The woman smiled softly. We're not giving up. That's what matters. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed across the Pacific Ocean. One of the Zarnak ships, hit hard in its engines, was falling from the sky. People everywhere watched as the alien giant broke apart and slammed into the water. Cheers broke out around the world. The first alien ship had fallen. In the Colorado base. Everyone stood in silence for a moment. Then came a voice through the speakers. Alien vessel destroyed. Repeat, alien vessel destroyed. Target was neutralized by coordinated global strike. General Reed clenched his fist. We just bought ourselves time, he said. Now let's make them regret ever coming here. The aliens had come to Earth thinking they would conquer it in minutes. They were wrong. Humanity only needed 20 minutes. Not to survive, but to fight. Hard. And this was just the beginning. The city was still burning. Smoke covered the skies of New York. Fires raged across rooftops. Sirens screamed from every direction. The streets were broken, twisted, and empty. Bodies lay still, buildings half destroyed. But somewhere in the middle of all that destruction, humanity was moving. Inside an underground command center in Colorado, General Reed stood tall, staring at a large screen. His eyes were fixed, unblinking. The alien ships hovered over major cities like giant monsters in the sky. It's been exactly 20 minutes, said Commander Patel, checking her watch. Then it's time, General Reed replied. We hit back hard. The room was full of military officers, scientists, and operators. Everyone was silent, waiting. On the wall behind them, red lights flashed. Iron shield active. A woman in a gray uniform turned to the general. Sir, all counter units are in position. Targets locked. Drones awaiting release. Launch them, General Reed said calmly. She nodded and pressed a red button. High above Earth, hundreds of tiny drones shot out from hidden satellites. Each drone was the size of a suitcase, silent and fast. They moved like insects, zigzagging, shifting, avoiding detection. Their job was simple. Find weak spots on the alien ships and strike in one of the alien ships above London. Zarnak soldiers watched the city below. Their leader, Korvac, stood tall. He had sharp blue skin, 6 fingers, and golden armor. He grinned. Humans are running, he said in his deep, raspy voice. They are broken already. A young Zarnak officer turned to him. Commander, I see movement. Something's coming toward us. Human jets? Korvac laughed. Let them come. No, the officer said, eyes wide. They're too small. Too fast. A second later, the first drone hit. It didn't explode. It attached to the ship's engine like a parasite, then drilled in. It injected a virus into the alien tech. Suddenly, lights on the alien ship flickered. What is this? Korvac shouted, shut it down. But the virus had already spread. In seconds, 5 more drones attached to the ship. Back in Colorado, Commander Patel smiled. Virus confirmed. Target systems crashing. General Reed leaned forward. Fire the railguns. Deep inside Earth's hidden mountain bunkers, huge railguns powered up. The magnetic weapons fired metal slugs faster than sound. One of those slugs shot straight into the belly of the alien ship over London. It exploded in a cloud of green fire. The alien crew screamed as the ship broke apart. Pieces of glowing metal fell from the sky like burning rain. All across the world, humans watching from rooftops, windows, and destroyed streets saw the fireball, and they cheered. In Rio, children hugged each other and cried. In Paris, soldiers danced in the rubble. In Beijing, doctors on the street paused their work to clap. In New York, young Maya looked up at the sky and whispered, "We're still here." The victory didn't mean the war was over. Far from it. The aliens still had 5 massive ships in Earth's skies. But now they were afraid. They had come expecting an easy kill. But the humans weren't giving up. They were fighting with everything they had and something more. Something the aliens didn't understand. Emotion, said the lead AI scientist, Dr. Rosa Lane, back in Colorado. It's not just tech. They don't understand what we are. What do you mean? Asked Patel. We don't fight like them, Rosa said. They follow orders. We follow hope, anger, love. That's why we're dangerous. Meanwhile, at a secret base in the Arctic, a small team of elite fighters was preparing a mission. Their target, the main Zarnek command ship. The leader of the team, Captain Eric Voss, loaded his gear. We have 20 minutes, he told his squad. That's all we need. They flew in using stealth gliders, machines that bent light and sound. They landed quietly on the surface of the alien ship and began planting EMP charges. Inside the alien ship, alarms started to blare. Something is on our hull, shouted a Zarnek technician. Korvac roared, "Find them, kill them all." But it was too late. Captain Voss gave the signal. Light them up. The charges exploded, sending a wave of electricity through the alien ship. Systems shut down. Shields fell. Lights died. From Earth's orbit, satellite cannons fired again. Another alien ship was hit. It didn't fall. It limped away, damaged, scared. Inside the command room, General Reed watched it run. They're learning, he said. But they're too late, replied Commander Patel. On the ground, survivors came together. Across the world, humans were helping each other. Strangers pulled strangers from wreckage. Doctors worked without rest. Soldiers shared water with children. The world was broken, but not beaten. In a hospital in New York, Maya sat beside her mother, who was now awake. They held hands as a nurse bandaged their wounds. Are we winning? Maya asked. The nurse smiled. We just might. Back in space, the remaining Zarnek ship started to regroup. Inside the largest one, a new voice spoke. It was not a Zarnak. It was their overlord speaking through a glowing crystal screen. You promised an easy conquest, the voice said. Instead, you brought shame. Korvac lowered his head. These humans, he growled. They are more dangerous than we believed. They are more than dangerous, the voice replied. They are fire. In Colorado, a message came through the system. A global report from military networks. Operation Hammerstorm success. 2 enemy vessels disabled. Human losses, severe but holding. General Reed looked around the room. We've survived the first 20 minutes, he said. Now it's their turn. Outside, the skies were still dark. The cities were still in pain. But something had changed. The aliens came thinking humans would fall in the first strike. Instead, Earth had struck back hard. And now, humanity was just getting started. The mountain was quiet from the outside. Cold winds blew across the snow-covered peaks. Birds flew high above, unaware that deep inside the rock was the brain of Earth's defense. Miles below the surface, the war room was alive, screens covered. The walls showing burning cities, alien ships, and battlefield maps. Dozens of people moved across the room, soldiers, scientists, pilots, and technicians. They spoke quickly, calmly, clearly. Every second mattered. General Reed stood at the center, his arms crossed. His face looked tired, but his voice was strong. "What's the latest on the Zarnak fleet?" Commander Patel stepped forward. "3 ships remain above Earth. One is circling low near Africa. One is holding above the Pacific. The third we think is scanning the moon." "Scanning the moon?" Reed frowned. "They're looking for our launch sites." "They won't find them," Patel said with confidence. "Let's hope not," Reed replied. "Because if they do, it's over." Dr. Rosa Lane, head of Artificial Intelligence Operations, walked in holding a tablet. "We've finished analyzing the Zarnak attack pattern," she said. "They don't think like us." "Explain," Reed said. "They're slow to adapt. Their strategy is centralized. All decisions go through a main command ship." "You're saying if we hit their brain, the rest will fall apart?" "Exactly." She nodded. Reed turned to Patel. "What about the council?" "They're ready," she said. "All connected by neural link." "They're waiting for your signal." Reed gave a short nod. "Let's wake them up." A technician pressed a button. A hum filled the room as secure connections opened across the globe. On the main screen, 6 figures appeared, leaders from America, China, India, Brazil, Germany, and Kenya. Their faces were pale but alert. Some wore military uniforms, others suits. All of them understood what was at stake. "Welcome to the war room," Reed said. "The situation is still critical. We've pushed back, but the Zarnak aren't leaving. We need a new plan, a united one." President Okoye of Kenya spoke first. "We've lost millions, but our people are ready to fight." Prime Minister Liu from China nodded. "We've moved factories underground. We're producing weapons at twice the speed." Chancellor Roth from Germany added, "We've begun training civilians." "Everyone's a soldier now." General Reed looked around the room. "Good, because what I'm about to suggest is dangerous." He pressed a button. A 3D map appeared, showing a large alien ship over the Pacific. "This is the command ship. We believe it's their center. All orders come from here. If we can destroy it, the others will fall into chaos." There was a long silence. President Castillo of Brazil asked, "And how do we reach it?" "With something we haven't used yet," Reed said. "Project Phoenix." All eyes turned to Dr. Lane. She smiled, just a little. "It's a prototype stealth bomber, built in orbit, fully AI-assisted. Carries a payload strong enough to destroy a mountain." "We kept it hidden," Reed added, "even from most of you." Liu raised an eyebrow. "Why reveal it now?" "Because if we don't strike now, we may not get another chance," Reed said. "The aliens are scanning, learning. If they adapt, we lose." Okoye nodded. "Then let's do it." "Full support," said Roth. "Agreed," said Liu. The war room shifted instantly into action. High above Earth, on the edge of the atmosphere, the Phoenix 1 sat in a dark dock hidden behind the moon. It looked like a long black dagger, sharp, quiet, deadly. Inside, there was no human pilot, only an AI named Rai. "Mission confirmed," said a voice in Rai's system. "Objective?" Rai asked. "Destroy the Zarnak command ship." Route calculated, launching in 60 seconds. Back in the war room, everyone watched silently as Phoenix 1 detached from its dock. It turned, ignited its silent engines, and disappeared into the blackness of space. Commander Patel whispered, "They won't even see it coming." On the alien command ship, Zarnak Commander Ziltar was focused on Earth. "Human defenses are stronger than expected," said one of his officers. "Pathetic still," Ziltar hissed. "They have no true power." Then, without warning, lights flickered. "New object detected," an alien shouted. "Small, fast, approaching at an angle we can't lock onto. Fire at will," Ziltar ordered. Beams of light shot into the sky, but hit nothing. Rai was too fast. Too small. Too smart. Within seconds, Phoenix 1 was inside range. Target locked. RI said calmly. Detonation in 3, 2, 1. A bright flash lit up the Pacific sky. In the war room, the screen went white for a second. Then the image cleared. Alien command ship was gone. Pieces of metal fell into the ocean like dying stars around the world. Humans screamed not in fear this time, but in joy. On the remaining Zarnak ships, chaos broke out. Their systems flickered. Orders stopped coming. Soldiers looked at each other, confused. Their language systems failed. Weapons shut down. In less than 5 minutes, the entire Zarnak battle network collapsed. They're breaking apart, Patel said. They're running. Reed added, almost in disbelief. Sir, a young soldier called out. One of the ships is trying to leave orbit. The others are dropping to Earth. We can intercept them. Do it, Reed ordered. End this. In the following hours, human jets, drones, and railguns finished the job. The last alien ship was shot down near the coast of Iceland. It fell into the sea, burning. On every news screen across the world, one message appeared. Earth is free. In the war room, no one clapped. No one cheered. Not yet. General Reed looked around. We've won the battle, not the war, Dr. Lane nodded. We still don't know where they came from, or if they'll come back, but we sent a message, Patel said. One the whole galaxy will hear. Reed finally allowed himself to sit. Let them come, he said. This time we'll be ready. Outside the mountain, the wind blew. Cold over the snow again, but deep inside, a fire had been lit. Earth had survived. And now, Earth had a war room that never slept. The alien soldiers marched across the burning land. Their armor was shiny, strong, and sharp. Their eyes glowed red behind their metal masks. They looked like something from a nightmare, cold, silent, unstoppable. But they had a problem. They didn't understand Earth. The Zarnak invaders came to conquer, not to learn. They believed they were smarter, stronger, more advanced. They thought human weapons were primitive. Their ships had force fields. Their suits could stop lasers. Their drones could melt steel. But Earth didn't fight fair, and the humans were about to prove that. In the forests of Congo, a Zarnak patrol walked carefully. The tall trees above blocked their scanners. Their boots crunched over wet leaves. Their leader, a soldier named K.R.R. Ven, lifted a 3-fingered hand to stop the group. Life signs detected, one soldier said. Direction? Kerven asked. Everywhere. Suddenly, the trees came alive. Tiny flying machines, shaped like mosquitoes, flew out of the branches. At first, the aliens laughed. Insects? Kerven mocked them. The machines buzzed closer and injected acid into their armor joints. K.R.R. Ven screamed as the metal on his leg melted. Another alien dropped his weapon as a swarm entered his helmet. The Zarnak fired their guns wildly into the trees, but the forest was too thick, and the insects too many. In under 3 minutes, the patrol was gone. Thousands of miles away, in the ruins of a university lab in India, Dr. Neha Sharma worked quickly. Her glasses were cracked. Her left hand was wrapped in bandages, but her mind was clear. Is it ready? Asked the soldier beside her. She nodded. The sonic cannon's been recalibrated. Will it work? She gave a small smile. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be loud. Outside, Zarnak troops were advancing through the streets. Human defenders were outnumbered. Their bullets bounced off the aliens' shields. Deploy the speaker towers. The captain yelled. All around the city, strange metal poles rose from rubble piles. The aliens ignored them until they powered on. A loud, high-pitched sound filled the air. It wasn't just noise. It was built to target the aliens' nervous systems. The Zarnak fell to the ground, shaking and screaming. Some dropped their weapons. Others fired in panic, hitting their own. The humans charged. In Alaska, a single man in heavy snow gear crouched behind a rock. His name was Marcus Bell. He wasn't a soldier. He used to be a hunter. Now he hunted aliens. One of the Zarnak scouts moved across the frozen land, scanning for life. Its sensors picked up nothing. Marcus had wrapped himself in a thermal blanket. He was invisible to heat scans. Slowly, he raised an old bolt-action rifle modified with new parts and a sharpened scope. He aimed at the alien's eye and fired. The scout dropped instantly. The rest of the alien team rushed forward, scanning the snow. But Marcus was already on the move, setting traps made from explosives and steel wire. Boom. One alien fell into a hole and was buried in sharp spikes. Another stepped on a landmine disguised as snow. The last one tried to run but triggered a net of electric wire. Marcus pulled off his hood and looked at the frozen battlefield. "Not your world," he muttered. "Not your rules." Back at the war room, Commander Patel studied a report. "Zarnak armor resists plasma," she said. "But they have weak points in the neck and joints." General Reed nodded. "Tell our engineers to focus weapons on those spots and get me the report from South America." Dr. Rosa Lane stepped forward. "You're not going to believe this." She tapped a screen. A video played of a jungle base. The humans had trained animals, birds with cameras, dogs with EMP packs, even monkeys trained to disable alien gear. One monkey climbed a Zarnak tank and pulled out wires with a tool. The machine collapsed. "They didn't expect this," Rosa said. "They expected tanks and ships," Reed replied. "They got nature." Above the Pacific, the Zarnak flagship was in panic. "We cannot control the humans," growled Supreme Commander Ziltar. "They are illogical. They use fire, bugs, noise. Animals. They fight like savages," said his officer. Xi Li. Tar stared at the map. "No, they fight like survivors. They don't care about rules. And that makes them dangerous." In the deserts of Australia, a small group of engineers tested their new invention, mirror drones. They didn't carry weapons. Instead, they projected images of fake human troops. Zarnak soldiers chased illusions across the sand for hours, until real humans ambushed them from behind. At a camp in Eastern Europe, scientists mixed old tech with alien junk. They built a cannon from parts of a car, a power line, and a broken alien battery. When it fired, it sent out a beam that melted through anything. It didn't look pretty, but it worked. General Reed gathered his team in the war room. "Reports are the same everywhere," he said. "The aliens don't know how to handle us. They expected order. We gave them chaos. They expected fear. We gave them fire." Commander Patel smiled. "We've turned the whole planet into a trap." "They came with their weapons," Reed said. "But we had our own." He looked at the screen. It showed children carrying water to fighters, farmers giving up their tractors for armor parts, people building defense towers out of scrap metal. They didn't expect our courage. They didn't expect our unity. And they definitely didn't expect our creativity. In one final surprise attack, humans in underground tunnels used modified flamethrowers built from fuel tanks and old leaf blowers to flush out the last Zarnak patrol hiding in a collapsed city. The aliens screamed as fire tore through the darkness. Above, a human flag was raised on a broken skyscraper. The people cheered. The Zarnak were learning a painful truth. This was Earth. And on Earth, war was not just technology. It was survival. It was fury. It was human. They came prepared for lasers and rockets, but they never saw the ants, the monkeys, the homemade weapons, the hunters, or the heart of people who refused to die. They never expected the weapons of Earth. Now, they would never forget them. The sun rose weakly over the ruined city of Shanghai. Smoke curled into the sky, mixing with dust and ash. Streets were empty. Buildings were broken. But among the ruins, hope was growing. Lieutenant Ava Lynn tightened her grip on her helmet. Her breath came fast. The exosuit she wore made her stronger and faster. Its blue lights flickered softly. "Are you ready, Ava?" Her squad leader whispered over the radio. "Ready," she replied. "Let's finish this." Their mission was simple, but deadly. Take down the alien warship that hovered above the city. The ship was massive, dark, and silent like a storm cloud. It had destroyed half the city already. "Remember," the squad leader said, "this is a suicide run. No backup, no retreat." Ava nodded. Inside, her heart hammered, but her mind was clear. She had trained for this. The squad moved silently through the streets. They avoided broken glass and burning cars. Alien patrols searched the area, but the humans were ghosts. Ava spotted the main elevator shaft of the alien ship's landing platform. "There," she whispered. The plan was to sneak up and plant explosives at the ship's core. If they could destroy it, the rest of the alien fleet would lose their command. The squad split into two groups. Ava led her team through the underground tunnels. They climbed stairs, crawled through broken pipes, and finally reached the ship's hull. "It's thicker than I thought," said one soldier, tapping the metal. "We don't have time," Ava said. "Set the charges fast." The team worked quickly, attaching bombs to the ship's engines and control panels. Suddenly, a siren blared. "Alien patrol!" Someone shouted. The squad turned to see a group of Zarnak soldiers rushing down the hall. "Get ready!" Ava yelled. They fought hard. Bullets bounced off alien armor. The exosuits powered punches that sent enemies flying. Ava dodged a blast and fired her plasma rifle. One alien fell, but more came. "We need to move," she said. "Explosives." "We're set." Ava pressed the detonator. The charges exploded with a deafening roar. The ship shook violently. Lights flickered and alarms screamed. "Run!" Ava shouted. They raced back through the tunnels as the ship began to collapse. Outside, the sky lit up with fire. The alien warship fell from the sky like a dying star, crashing into the sea with a thunderous boom. From every rooftop, people watched. Cheers erupted. Ava looked up at the smoke and smiled, tears in her eyes. "We did it," she whispered. Back in the war room, General Reed watched the feed from Shanghai. "Ava Lin," he said, "just changed the course of this war." Commander Patel nodded. "She's a hero now. And the first of many." Dr. Rosa Lane smiled softly. "We've started to win," but Reed shook his head. "This victory is only the beginning. The aliens will strike back harder." Suddenly, the communications console beeped. "Sir, we've captured alien tech from the wreckage." "Bring it to me," Reed said. In a nearby lab, scientists carefully opened a damaged control panel. Inside were strange devices, small, glowing crystals and metal chips unlike anything humans had seen. "Can we use it?" asked one scientist. Rosa nodded. "If we understand it, we can turn their technology against them." Meanwhile, Ava and her squad were resting in a safe zone near the coast. Ava looked at her team. "We survived," she said quietly. One soldier smiled. "We made history." She nodded. "But the war is far from over." On the alien side, Commander Ziltar stared at the reports. "How did they destroy our warship?" He growled. "They fought with courage and surprise," an officer said. Xiltar slammed his fist on the table. "Send reinforcements," he ordered. "We will crush this human spirit." But deep inside, he feared the truth. Humans were not like other species. They fought with their hearts, and that made them dangerous. That night, the world slept a little easier. The first alien warship was gone. Humanity had won a hard battle, but the war was only beginning, and the humans knew one thing for sure: they would never back down. The alien command ship drifted silently above Earth. Inside, Commander Ziltar stared at the battle reports. His 4 glowing eyes burned with anger. "How many have we lost?" he demanded. "Too many, Commander," a young officer replied. "The humans fight harder than we expected." Ziltar slammed his clawed fist on the console. They are only animals. How can they resist us? Because they are more than animals, the officer said quietly. Ziltar turned sharply. Explain. They have something we lack, the officer said. They have fear and courage. They have pain and fury. They have hope. Ziltar growled low in his throat. Hope is useless. We will break them. On Earth, the humans were changing the course of the war. Lieutenant Ava Lynn sat beside a campfire in the ruins of a small village. Her squad was tired but alive. Around her, people spoke in low voices, sharing stories of loss and survival. Ava looked up at the stars. They think we're weak, she said softly, that we will fall. Her friend Malik nodded. They don't understand us. None of them do, Ava replied. Suddenly, a radio crackled to life. Lieutenant Lynn, this is General Reed. New orders. Prepare for a psychological operation. We will break their spirit. What do you mean, sir? Ava asked. We will use their own fear against them, Reed said. Begin broadcast in 15 minutes. Far from the battlefield, a team of human engineers and psychologists prepared a plan. Dr. Rosa Lane stood in front of a screen, showing alien soldiers in panic. We've recorded their reactions, she explained. They are afraid of sound, high-pitched frequencies, disorienting noise. They also react to images of defeat. The room was quiet. Prepare the broadcasts, Rosa said. We'll send messages in their language, using fear, confusion, even fake threats. The aliens on Earth began to hear strange sounds, whispers. On their radios, noises in the dark. One soldier, K.R.R. Venn, paused in the jungle. What is this? He asked his squad. Voices? Voices in our heads? A loud, high-pitched sound filled the trees. The aliens clutched their helmets, screaming. They are attacking our minds, K.R.R. Venn said. But the humans were only getting started. Across the planet, giant screens in ruined cities showed holograms of defeated Zarnak soldiers and destroyed ships. The images flickered with distorted sounds of screams and explosions. Alien soldiers stopped and stared. Some dropped their weapons. Others panicked. Inside the alien command ship, Ziltar's voice was cold. Enough, he said. We will respond with force. But the damage was done. At a secret human base, Ava and her squad prepared for their next mission. We hit them where it hurts, she said. Their minds, Malik laughed. Who knew fear was a weapon? Ava smiled. Fear can break anyone, even monsters. On the battlefield, the Zarnak soldiers began to fight among themselves. Confused orders, mistrust, and panic spread. One alien officer turned to Ziltar. Commander, morale is failing. Our soldiers fear their own shadows. Ziltar growled. Send reinforcements, crush their hope. But deep inside, even he doubted. Back on Earth, human prisoners captured by the aliens used their chance to sabotage. One prisoner, a young woman named Leela, whispered to her cellmates, we can't give up. They think we're weak, but we're strong. She sneaked to the control panel, unplugging wires, causing chaos. The alarms blared. The aliens scrambled to fix the damage. The war was no longer just about weapons. It was about will. About spirit. About who could last longer. General Reed spoke to his commanders. They underestimated us, he said. They thought we were easy prey. Commander Patel nodded. Now they know they were wrong. Ava looked at the battlefield. They didn't understand the species they attacked, she said quietly. They didn't understand humanity. And humanity was ready to fight, not just with guns and machines, but with heart, because the strongest weapon was not in their hands, it was in their souls. Space was silent, but not empty. High above Earth, black ships began to move. They were not alien. They were human. The counterattack fleet had finally launched. Inside the flagship Resolute, Commander Sarah Trent stood on the bridge, staring at the stars. Her face was calm, but her eyes were filled with fire. "Status report," she said. "Fleet is in formation. Engines steady." "Weapons ready," replied her second-in-command, Captain Idris Vaughn. "Any contact?" "Not yet, but the Zarnak are watching." "They'll know we're coming," Sarah nodded. "Good, let them watch." It had been 3 months since the first alien strike. Cities burned. Millions were lost. Earth had nearly fallen, but Earth didn't. Break. Instead, it built. Every nation, every resource, every mind worked together. Factories never slept. Engineers designed weapons faster than ever. Pilots trained in virtual skies, preparing for war among stars. Now, humanity was ready. In orbit, the fleet shimmered under moonlight. 38 warships, 6 carrier-class destroyers, and 1 secret weapon. The Titanus, a new kind of ship, built in silence, powered by a core that no one human or alien fully understood. And at its center, a single pilot. Lieutenant Ray Mercer sat alone in the Titanus's command pod. He wore a neural interface that linked his thoughts to the ship's systems. "Can you hear me, Titan?" he whispered. The ship responded with a soft hum, as if alive, ready to burn the stars. The AI voice answered. Ray smiled. "Let's make them regret touching Earth." A warning light flashed on the Resolute. "Commander, we've picked up movement. Zarnak ships, 4 cruisers, 2 battleships. Coordinates? Near the belt. They're waiting." Sarah looked at the screen. "They want to trap us." "They think we'll fall for it?" Idris asked. Sarah's lips curved into a cold smile. "No, but we'll make them think we did." The plan was risky. The Resolute and 2 other cruisers would charge straight at the Zarnak formation. Fast, loud, visible. Meanwhile, the Titanus and a stealth squad would flank from the shadows. The fleet split. "Hold course," Sarah ordered. "Even when it looks bad, we don't stop." As Earth's ships closed in, the Zarnak opened fire. Blue plasma lit up the darkness. The Resolute shook, but held steady. "We're taking hits," Idris shouted. "Stay on them," Sarah said. "Closer. Just a little closer." From behind an asteroid, the Titanus emerged silent, unseen. Ray whispered, "Now." The ship surged forward like a ghost. Lasers formed from thought. Missiles launched with a blink. The Zarnak ships never saw it coming. 1 cruiser exploded. Another. The Zarnak turned in panic. And that was the mistake. Full barrage. Sarah shouted. The Resolute and the human cruisers opened fire. Missiles screamed across space. Energy beams cut through alien metal. 2 Zarnak battleships turned to run. Target retreating ships. Ray said. The Titanus moved like no human ship ever had. It danced through enemy fire. A glowing blade of light extended from its hull. Experimental energy plasma. It sliced through the last enemy cruiser like paper. "Zarnak ships down to 1, came the report. On the last alien battleship, General Kraz shouted in rage. These creatures were primitive. "Not anymore," one of his officers said, trembling. "Retreat. Get us out of here." But it was too late. The Titanus fired a final pulse. The alien ship vanished in a burst of flame. Silence returned. Back on the Resolute, cheers filled the bridge. Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, listening. She opened them slowly. "That's 1 battle." "Not the last," Idris said. "No," she agreed. "But it's the first time we hit back, really hit back." She looked out the window at the stars, and they'll remember it. In Earth's command center, General Harlow watched the battle replay. They didn't just hold the line. He whispered. They broke it. He turned to his advisors. "Prepare Phase 2. In the pilot seat of the Titanus, Ray floated in silence. "Still with me?" he asked. The AI voice responded, calm and confident. "Always." Ray smiled. "For Earth," he said. And the stars burned behind him. The galaxy had gone quiet. After Earth's counterattack fleet crushed the Zarnak ambush, all alien empires pulled back. They were afraid. For the first time in thousands of years, a new species had fought back and won. In the vast silence that followed, the Galactic Council met in secret. 11 species gathered in the black halls of the Council world, their faces cold, their voices low. "Humans must be contained," hissed the Yulari speaker, its 6 eyes blinking slowly. "They are unstable," growled a Run diplomat. "They build warships faster than we track." "They are clever," said a soft, eerie voice. "Too clever." But one voice was different. "They are not asking for war," said Chancellor Veltar of the Valari. "They are answering one." The room fell silent. No one wanted to admit it, but Veltar was right. Back on Earth, deep beneath the ice of Antarctica, the leaders of humanity gathered in a hidden command station. President Lena Raker stood before a large screen that displayed over 60 alien languages. She looked tired, but her voice was strong. "It's time they know who we are," she said. Beside her, Dr. Miles Chun, Earth's top xenolinguist, nodded. "The signal's ready. Translations loaded. Carriers prepped. Every outpost, every probe, every station across the system can beam it." "Good," Lena replied. "But we're not sending a threat." Chun raised an eyebrow. "We're not?" She looked at him and smiled faintly. "No, we're sending truth." The next morning, the message was sent. Across 1,000 stars, it echoed. Old satellites that had once listened for alien signals now spoke in return. Probes on distant moons sent beams of light through space. And in orbit, a massive solar array pulsed the signal like a heartbeat. The galaxy listened. In a council chamber light years away, the message played for the first time. A human voice spoke, slow and calm. The translation system turned it into hundreds of dialects. "This is Earth. We are the children of dust, oceans, and stars. We were quiet once. We watched. We hoped. And then one of you attacked." Images appeared: burning cities, falling ships, humans digging through rubble to save their own. But there was no anger in the voice. "You thought we were weak. You saw chaos, division, fear, but you didn't understand." A pause. "You woke. Something old inside us." Now the image changed. Ships being built, soldiers training, people rebuilding their homes together, not as countries, but as one planet. "We do not seek conquest. We do not want your worlds, but we will never kneel." A final moment passed in silence. "If you come for us again, bring everything, because we will." The screen faded to black. The council was silent. Ambassador Threz of the Jannari whispered. "That was not a threat. It was a warning." "They mean every word," Veltar said, his voice heavy. "They'll fight until nothing's left," said the Run. "No," the Yulari corrected. "They'll win until nothing's left." Meanwhile, in the asteroid belt, an alien scout ship cloaked in black metal drifted silently near Earth's outer defenses. It was from a species unknown to even the Council. It watched. It listened. And when the human message reached its sensors, it froze. Its crew stared at each other. "What do we do now?" asked one. The commander gave a slow, cold answer. Wait." Back on Earth, Dr. Chun was staring at response signals coming in from deep space. "You seeing this?" he said to his team. One of the analysts turned pale. 13 species just acknowledged receipt, and two are trying to reply. Lena Riker stood silently in the observation deck above them. "Will they send war?" someone asked. She turned and answered softly. "They might send fear. But now they know who they're afraid of." In the shadows of distant galaxies, the message continued to spread. Some ran from it, some prepared for battle, and some just a few looked at Earth with awe, not fear, because for the first time in ages, the stars had heard something new. Not a roar, not a whisper, but a promise. Humanity had spoken, and the galaxy would never forget.